Hey there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable.
Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. I am Jill Allen, and I'm so excited that you're here with me as we dive into another amazing episode 172. And we're showing up each week to bring a little fire to your day, and we are going to be talking about how to be a happier person, how to have a happier life. And I'm here to tell you, we have more power over that than you may think. And, I got to say, it's not about what's happening around you or what is not happening. It's not about how the people around you are behaving or not behaving. It is all in our thoughts and how we think. And guys, it's not a feeling that we have no control over because, feelings pass through us, but they come because of our thoughts and what we think. And then if we engage in it, and allow the feelings to flow, because we know that thoughts create feelings, then we also know that we can control that, because if we want to feel happier, we can control that by how we think and what thoughts we allow to be in our forefront of our mind. And it's a skill, and it's a skill that we need to work on day in and day out. And so if we think happy thoughts, we then can be on the path to a happier life. And something that I know that I'm always working on, what I want my kids to know and really believe and grab a hold of, and what I would love for you to learn, all these tools as well. So know that happiness is accessible to anyone, no matter your circumstances. And we just have to do a really quick scan on the world. Think about it. We see people that are sadder and sicker than ever before. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. And it's not too late. We are not washed up. We are not too old. We can change the pathways of our mind. And if we are set in our habits and our ways, it doesn't mean that we can't change those moving forward. We can break the patterns, but we have to want to change. We can't hope to be happier. We actually have to want to and apply some work to our thought patterns. So let's find joy in taking control of our thoughts and our words and our actions, because I'm super excited about this topic, how to be happy and feel like a happier person. And, we're going to talk a little bit about the traits of being a happier person and why happiness will create more success and the opportunity in your life. And we're going to talk a little bit about being happy beyond our circumstances, and that happiness in relation to the external and the internal circumstances that we come across and are faced with. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how to stay happy around unhappy or toxic people, and then some very good actionable things I'm going to share with you that you can do today to be happier. And it's all free. Okay. Happiness is free. It is available to you. But before we go any further, I have to let you know that I just love that you're here listening in and spending time with me. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You guys are just so amazing, and I thank you for your love and support. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and the Set Fire message with your friends and family. And guys, if you have not heard, my new book, Set Fire, is out, and you can get your copy on Amazon. It's really good, especially if you want to fire up your life and ignite a spark of courage in you so that you can live your life on purpose. I just had to share that with you. And of course, thank you again for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So, are you ready? I know I am. So let's dive in on how to be a happier person. Okay, so you are as happy or unhappy as you want to be. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Gosh, if I'm down in the dumps, the last thing I want someone to tell me, especially my husband, is that it is a choice. So it's tough to hear. And if you're not happy, guys, it's your responsibility. And when I'm unhappy, it happens. I am constantly reminding myself what I want in my life, and, I'm trying to do the work on my mind. I do a mindset and heart check so that I can continue to show up and live with purpose and intention. And that is something like why I journal every day, working on my thoughts. I love doing the work so I can grow. to evolve and transform into the best version of myself so I can show up to do what I'm called to do in this world. And by taking ownership of my mind, so I don't fall into the trap of unbelief or doubt or fear that makes me want to kind of shrink back and hide in a corner, or possibly worse, indulge in self-pity on the couch in sweats, watching Netflix all day, wasting my day that I have been given. And trust me, I have been there, I've done that, and I don't like it. And so for those of you who know me, I wrestle with anxiety. It's a big narrative in my life, but I'm happier than I have been in my entire life. Yet there are still moments in my days in my life where I have pity parties and fall victim to the anxiety. And thankfully, Rob does call me out, or my kids call me out, and they just flat out tell me that I'm hanging on to this unhappiness story and milking it without taking responsibility and ownership with my thoughts. And unfortunately, it happens more than I would like to admit, but it goes back to you are as happy or unhappy as you want to be. So how can we be a happier person? Okay, know that you have control over your happiness. Understand how you express happiness. Have you ever played this game or have asked this question? I mean, if we do this with our kids, if you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be? And I think of my kids when they're happy. Harrison be like a golden retriever puppy. He's goofy, playful, silly, obnoxious at times, just like this golden retriever. He expresses his happiness just like a puppy would. Rob is pretty much the same way. If we're being honest and transparent, he's definitely like, a lab or a golden retriever. The girls would be like a dolphin or a monkey. They kind of jump around or they squeal when they're happy. Hayden would be like a slobbering Saint Bernard. I mean, he gets so excited when he tells stories, and what happens, he just slobbers when he talks and laughs and smiles when he tells us about his day. Houston, gosh, I would say he would be more of a sophisticated animal, kind of like a long-haired collie in a dog show, prancing, or maybe a Clydesdale, looking sharp with just more of a conservative vibe. It's just a fun way, guys, to become aware of how you express happiness. I don't think you could be a wrong animal. It's just a fun game, but try it out and have fun with it. But know that you can express happiness in so many different ways. I mean, you don't have to be a golden retriever to be a happy person. Play around with your happiness. What does it look like? How do you express yourself when happy? Are you a high energy or are you more of a laid back, cozy feel? How the emotion feels with you, right? If you have never done this before, start with a negative emotion. Like when I'm anxious, I can tell that my neck is tight, my jaw is tight, my shoulders, my chest is all tight. I clench my jaw, I clench in all my thoughts. But when I'm happy, my posture changes. My body is more relaxed. And so I want you to really become aware of like the physical response with your body of how you express happiness, because our body is the best indicator of when things need to shift. And as for what kind of animal I would be, gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure. If you guys have an idea, just reach out to me and be sure to let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. But to be a happier person, you also need to have happiness habits. You have to know for you the habits that create happiness. For example, I love working out. That makes me happy. Or taking the dogs for a hike or going technology free. And when I'm done, I feel supercharged, right? I feel vibrant and I feel joy. So be aware of those happiness habits or create the ones that will drive more happiness into your day. We have to be intentional about the inputs in our life, right? Being mindful of what you are reading and watching and listening to. Garbage in, garbage out. People we hang with, or music we listen to, or whatever we put into our brain, the super machine that we have, what we put in is what will be programmed out. And oftentimes when I'm constantly anxious, all I have to do is a check, and it's triggered by what I'm reading or putting into my brain. We have to surround ourselves with people who are happy. I get it. It's simple. But it's so true. We become most like the 5 people we spend the most time with. So we have to be intentional with our people and the books that we read, the podcasts that we listen to. I mean, we have to find a circle, your circle. And if you don't have 5 people, guys, I cannot encourage this enough. Go find them. Meet new friends and mentors. And then this is the tough one. We have to take responsibility. Happiness is an inside job. If you get nothing else out of this podcast or this episode, know that it is an inside job. It's not an outside one. We live in a world that creates happiness. I mean, it's the draw and deepest desire of the human heart. And we also live in a world that says, buy this next thing and you will be happy. And it trains us to believe that when you lose 5 pounds, you're going to be happy. Or when you make the extra $15,000, you're going to be happy. Or when you join this gym, you will be happy. Or, be cooler and this popular group will like you and you will be happy. Or if they love me, then I will be happy. And I found myself, like most perfectionists and type A's do, we chase this imaginary finish line to be happy. And I would think if, and when these outside sources would change, then I would be happy. Or, if outside situations would change, then I would be happy. Ultimately, delaying my happiness. But these outside circumstances are, one, outside of our control, and two, are not responsible for our happiness. The responsibility of our happiness is our job, an inside job, no matter what is going on around us. And I get it. I have been in some dark places, gone through tough times, and you may find yourself a victim of circumstances every once in a while, but we don't have to be a victim in our mind. So let's talk about those external circumstances. We talked about being intentional of the inputs into our mind, placing positivity in our life, but we also need to reduce the toxic load of information. We need to put up boundaries or limit our time on social media or our addictive habits to bad information, or like maybe we're scrolling through social media or watching the news 24/7, calling it a need to know or we got to stay informed kind of mentality. But it's too much for us. We weren't created to keep up with that much information. So we got to stay in our lane, simplify and unplug a bit, and we need to quiet the noise and go against the grain of the culture. If you look at the level of depression and sadness and suicide across the cultures, I mean, we don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out the correlation to our social media and all the information. And the more we have access to and the impact it is having on our mindset and our thoughts and our happiness, and the more we struggle with it all. And I'm not saying to be a hermit or a minimalist or, to get rid of your phone. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe that we can limit and put boundaries. We need to parent ourselves around those things, right? I know when I get triggered or when I feel worse after being on our phones or social media or watching screen time, then I know my time is up. I crossed the line. So we got to decide the right time and how much. If I go into stress mode, then gosh, it's a red flag. It was too much. If I'm irritable, too much screen time, guys, or the comparison or sidetracked, or if we get caught up in any drama, it's too much. And I feel like a slug after watching too much Netflix. And, so it's common sense that I would need a boundary. And when it gets to that point, guys, it is my responsibility when it comes to my happiness and the boundaries that are set. So we need to separate circumstances from happiness. And I'm not saying we can't be happy about our circumstances. For example, maybe you are self-employed and, you had your best month ever. You can be happy about those things. We can be in that moment to soak it in. It just shouldn't be the dictator of your happiness. So it's really important to know when we get into that mode of that moving finish line, we have to be cautious of or wary of statements like, when I am blank, then I will be happy. So we can choose to be happy, to decide to be, and the circumstances do not have to decide that for us, guys. That is a really, really good thing. Something that I found is that we need to minimize the influence of toxic people. We're going to have toxic people in our life. We talked about this in a couple episodes back, about negativity and negative people and, how to kind of manage that a little bit. So you guys can go back and check that out. But because we have toxic people in our life, we need boundaries on that. And I get it, toxic people, it may be your sibling or a part of your family or a coworker that, you get put on a project with. And I get it, it would be great not to have any toxic people and zero drama, but we live in a world with humans. And so we just need to have those boundaries and keep them at arm's length. But we can have some compassion for them. Because unhappy people lead unhappy lives and they take it out on others. So them being toxic or bullying or mean or hard on you, it's not you. It's them. So it is an opportunity for us to rise up and to manage our mind, for us to have compassion toward them, let them be them, and hope and pray that they will want to work and grow when they're ready to. But in the meantime, like, we can do the work on ourselves, and that fact that we can still thrive. It's like pulling any weeds out in our mind. Okay. So there are some internal circumstances too. And I have to be so intentional some days to be happy. So to grab a hold of the life that God has given me, there are days where I get overwhelmed and I get stressed, but I do the work, the boring, ordinary things that help my mind, and how to not stay in the trap of anxiety and negativity. I want to read you a snippet of my book, Set Fire, about the ordinary. It's on page 30. If you guys have it, let me go grab that. Do the ordinary. I know what you're thinking, but I want different. I want to change, and I want to break the cycle of the ordinary. I want fire. Now you're telling me to dive back into the ordinary, the everyday normal? Stick with me. There's an ending to the story you are walking in right now, but it's not an ending you might think. Lighting the match may seem simple, a basic task, ordinary, and that is exactly how God works, in the ordinary. He works in everyday, simple, basic, and regular moments. We may think God's good plan is in this big grand gesture, but it's not. His plans are usually tucked away in today's ordinary next steps. It is the little things, the never-ending chores we have on our to-do list. Running errands, pick up and dropping off kids, filling up the gas tank, stopping in at the bank, fixing dinner. You can fill in the blank. All the things you didn't wake up excited to do. Your constant faith and loyalty in these tedious tasks align you with opportunities for the big stuff you dream about. One little chore can change the trajectory of your life. One little chore can be the one thing that will light the match. Will you flip the script on the ordinary and look at the ordinary as an opportunity for the big move that changes everything and sets your life on fire? It just takes a moment that you probably have lived a million times, a day like all other days. Guys, we have to do the ordinary. We also have to do the work on our mental management, exercising, eating healthy, listening to personal growth podcasts, positive music, reading books that challenge us to fire up, that pushes us to grow. We got to do the work of emotional maturation and learn how to feel your feelings, how to not be so emotionally immature. We also have to do the work of gratitude and learning presence, doing daily gratitude and seeking strength and joy, happiness and purpose by spending time with God each day. I know it has transformed my happiness. I mean, if you don't know your purpose, I get it, that takes work too, but a simple place to start is to pray about it. Ask Him for it to be revealed to you. Explore all the possibilities. And then we got to do the work of fighting against the 4 C's of negativity. And guys, that is complaining, comparing, criticizing, and coveting. All 4 that I know that I struggled with. We just can't grow when we do those things. We stay stagnant. We catch ourselves saying, like, why is life so hard? And it's the little things that we fixate on. And we cannot thrive in a house where negativity takes over. And a lot of times we're the mom. We have to be that person that brings the light in the house, guys. We got to do the daily work of the gratitude, the boring, simple, ordinary things. You know, do I need to write in the daily gratitude today? Yes. Do I need to listen to something positive today? Yes. Do I need to dive into the Word today? Yes. Do I really need to journal? Yes. Guys, it is the little things. Do the ordinary thing, willing to do the same thing over and over, because you believe in the result before you see the result when you do that. You don't need a crash diet if you are willing to do the same thing each day that moves the needle forward. Same with your finances and the relationships and your faith. There is so much more available to you, so much more potential, but you have to do the work. It's easy, but it's hard work. It's simple, but it's hard. But I know that you are capable. And when you do the work, happy people attract happy people. Happy people attract more opportunity. Happy people attract good luck, if you want to call it that. You just attract more sunshine. Deeper relationships create more legacy and more influence. But it starts with the work you do with your mental management and the maturity and the fighting the 4 C's. Okay, so what are some actionable things to do? Happiness habits are 1. I lay my clothes out the day before. I fix the coffee the night before. The small things I do the day before that sets me up for the next day. Spending time with kids or working out, talking with a friend, listening to music while in the kitchen or, doing laundry, sitting on the side porch, reading a book. Whatever it is, whatever your happiness habits are, something that you can do today, start implementing that, something that makes you happy. Do something that brings you joy today. Another thing, we can focus your attention and the constant redirection, parenting our brains, how we can redirect our thoughts. So we got to reel it back in, right? If we have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, guys, it is natural that some of those are going to wander and go down kind of a negative path. But if we can correct those thoughts, guys, it's okay. It's to be expected. We just need to flip those thoughts. Another actionable thing you can do is to create more adventure in your life. Invest in yourself. Go have coffee with a new friend. Break the daily routines. Travel. Start a new family tradition or hike a new trail. Take on a new challenge. Guys, there is an adventure of what to see that you are capable of. So I encourage you to take more risks and be bold. There's adventure in having courage to do something different. Guys, you can challenge the status quo that you've accepted. Be a little bit different. Be the fish that swims up water. I look at people and so many are unhappy and stressed and in debt and their heads are always in their phone, overworking and they're miserable. I don't know about you, but I don't want the status quo. I want different, and that means we have to live different. Create financial freedom for yourself. And I'm not saying money will create happiness, but getting out of debt and creating a pathway and a financial plan for your life, guys, that is something that you are in control of the choices that you make with your money. And the choices you make and how you spend it, it gives you power. And having control over your money mindset, creating a healthy relationship with money when it comes to tithing and giving generously and having faith that God's going to provide, it's so crazy good. And the final two, one, reclaim your voice. Start speaking up. Remember who you are. No one is like you. No one has your story. You have the skills and the talents and the gifts that no one else has. And it's time to speak up and use them. Stop diminishing who God made you. The power of your words, life, and purpose, guys, can impact the lives of others, which leads to this final actionable step. Help others. It's the people who help others are the ones that are the most happiest to give back. Just be there for others. Giving is this gift of happiness. It's an instant elevation to your happiness. I guarantee. Why I do what I do. Guys, my entire job and purpose is to help others. And over 50% of it, guys, it's for free. Between the podcasts and the blogs and the emails and the newsletters, all that free stuff to add value to you. And the other part, of course, I get paid for. But to tell you that I have just as much joy in the stuff that I do for free as I do that I get paid for. But the joy comes from helping others. Make it your mission today to make someone's day better. And I promise you, you will be feeling pretty happy and your day is going to be so much better too. I hope this fires you up. Before we wrap this up, there's something about getting outdoors, unplugging, spending time in nature. Have you checked out our brand new Instagram page, Hike, Live, Explore? If you want all the ins and outs when it comes to hiking, getting outdoors, challenges, go follow that page, Hike, Live, Explore. There's also a Facebook group that you can hang out with us there. The Trailblazer Challenge is kicking off here soon. I know you guys don't want to miss it. And if you're wanting even more fire in your day, there is so much for you to do so. You can join us in Just Breathe. You can snag a copy of my new book, Set Fire, that just released on Amazon. Join us in the adventure of a lifetime this August for the backpacker. We are hiking the White Mountains. It's going to be so epic. Join our Hawaii mission trip team. We are serving in Kauai in June. And maybe you're thinking about doing your own road trip. You can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. I know that's a lot going on, so I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Just go to JillAllenCoaching.com for all updates, and we would love to connect with you. Positive connection is so game-changing. Come back next week. We are going to set some fire to your days and ignite that spark that you have within. I know that you will love it as it will help you and encourage you to up-level. Thanks so much for joining me today. I pray that I filled your heart with joy. If you could let me know before hopping off, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.